Ladies and gentlemen, baby, we are about to begin. You think that was it? You think we were done? You thought that classical guitar players took over? No. Oh, baby. We are taking over. We're taking over. Oh, baby. Woo! Buckle up! Because we are about to begin. The most athletic stream of all. Are you ready to get corrupted by the athleticism of electric guitar? What's up? Oh, yeah. Oh, baby. Woo! Let's go! We are on! We are on! What's happening? How are we doing? Woo! Baby! The weekend's here! That's what I'm talking about! Look at me! Look! Woo! What's happening? Look at that! Oh my god, we are ready to go! How are we doing? Where's my camera? There we go, that's my camera. What's happening? Dorotio! What's happening? Que the nueva. Good to see everybody. How are we doing? YouTube, Twitch, what's happening, baby? Happy Saturday. Happy Sunday. I don't know where you are. That's right. I just had to do that bit. All right. Tell you guys something. We've got a really athletic stream on today. So, first, we will be talking about Kiesel guitars releasing an old classic with a modern twist. And we're going to talk about that. I was very excited to see that one. I was really looking forward to it. So, in fact, 2 streams ago, one of our viewers with 61 guitars at home right now bought one of those, but the old school stuff. So we're going to talk about that. Then we are going to talk about debate a little bit, actually. This is where you guys come in. We're going to debate the most important feature on an electric guitar. We're gonna then talk about Kiki Wong. Kiki Wong is insane. We're gonna talk about her. We're gonna talk about feelings versus physics of electric guitar. And then we're gonna talk about this Russian luthier guy who did something really ridiculous, which I didn't like, but I thought we have to share with everybody today. Okay. We got a crazy docket, man. So good to see everybody. So, playing with the monsters. Let's get our docket and our stream started. Dorotio, how are you doing? How you doing? Now, here we are. Let's get the party started. Now, tell me. You guys tell me. And if you weren't alive like myself back in the good old days where this guitar came out, that's completely fine. We forgive you. That's okay. Doroteo said, neck dimensions and fret size is the most vital part on an X. Well, why do you give the answers away right away, Doroteo? We haven't even started the stream yet. And you're just giving it, just give out the rest of the stream. How does that sound? We have to get this man to sign an NDA for each and every stream from now on. I'll send you the forms, okay? It'll take, I don't know, DHL, it's like a couple of days to Texas, okay? We're gonna send people like with our NDA to Texas, and we'll get you to sign the NDA. Otherwise, this is gonna impact the stream negatively. Like our whole stream is depending on it. So let's get started. We are going to talk about Kiesel guitars doing something really insane. And what I loved about it, by the way, gotta tell you guys, what I loved about it is that we're bringing the two worlds of old and new together. Because, you know, a lot of people are into old vintage stuff, and a lot of people, like myself, I guess, are a lot more into more modern stuff. We think it's newer, better factories, better builders, more experience, yada yada, right? But then Kiesel here is what they're doing is that they're bringing the world of the old and new together. And I think that's a good common ground, not gonna lie. Okay, so check this out. We are going to move on to the share screen, and boom, boom. Okay, check this out. Actually, first of all, don't check this out. Let me make some adjustments. Okay, that's better. Now check this out. The Carvin D127. Doroteo says the D125 is a badass. Oh, got it. Sure as hell is a badass. Yeah. Hell yeah. So Kiesel, you'll like this probably then, Doroteo. Kiesel releases the DC127. Now, we're going to talk about the features in a second, but one of the most iconic models in company's line of custom-built instruments, DC127 joins the lineup of Kiesel's premium US-made instrument for a limited time. Designed to excel a variety of musical styles, the versatile DC127 is available in a 6-string config. Key features include tone wood options. We're going to go through that experience on Kiesel's website in a second. 25-inch scale, 24 frets, different fretboard material, and electronics comes with a standard of either 1 or 2 Kiesel M22 pickups, various controls and layouts, and it's a hip shot fixed bridge, hip shot trim, and Floyd Rose trim options. So, Carvin obviously been around for a while. And by the way, hold on, Doroteo said 125. Let me show everybody the 125 as well. So Carvin DC 125. There we go. And this is the 125. This one, look at that. Classic purple, huh? Yeah, they look very, very similar. They look very, very similar, and yeah, a lot of people like hip shot. What did you think? How did you feel about Mick Thompson's new LTD guitar? By the way, because that one, if I'm not wrong, comes with hip shot fixed bridges. Yeah, if I'm not wrong. The guy's guitar has Fishman Fluence, a single Fishman Fluence with 3 voicings, and hip shot fixed bridge. Pretty sure. How do you feel about that one? Did you see that guitar before? Like, I think it came out. They brought it out at NAMM this year, like in January. Jan Feb time, I think. Yeah. But this is Carvin DC-125. A single pickup guitar. Right. Now, going back to the 127, this is what you see on Kiessel's website. Now, I've talked about this experience before. I don't know if you've seen those streams or those videos. I have a video where I did a comparison between the online experience, online experience of shopping with Kiesel versus other guitar brands. And we did a comparison. I think it's one of my videos there. Hold on, let me show it to you guys if you want to check it out. Like that video took me a long time to do an edit. But one thing that I did there was I compared Kiesel with Fender and other website when it comes to like ordering stuff online. It's one of my videos here. There we go. This changes everything. Kiesel, Smokes, Gibson, and others in online guitar building. This video, check it out. Like that one took me a while to make, but basically I go through the whole experience of ordering things online and how Kiesel's website is just so much better. The experience that Kiesel provides is just so much better than everybody else's. So yeah, Dorothy says, I have an ESP LTD MH400. It's a killer. MH400. Okay, that's not is MH400 whose signature is MH400? Hold on. What are we doing here? LTD MH400. Right, that looks nice. Okay. Interesting. I thought that was like is that a signature model? Because I was thinking it's MT, like for McThompson, but it's not. Anywho, so this is the website, right? Right from the get-go, you get, obviously, the beauty of it is that your options are here and your price tag is here. So as you make changes to the guitar, as you select your options, right, the price tag changes. You know how much you're paying and you know what you're getting yourself into. Right? Now, check this out. We got 3 colors here. Now, this is like standard classic Carvin, huh? Right? And this one is a nice panther purple. And they got the blue. Now, all right, you guys tell me. You know what? Anyone's on stream, you tell me, which color do we start to build our guitar on? The blue, the orange, wood, gold, whatever you want to call it, or the purple? You guys tell me. Twitch, YouTube, tell me, which color do we go with? Blue, orange, or purple? Dorothy says, I got it, and it was my son's axe. I see through black. Ah, nice. Okay. Start with Ferrari red. We don't have red here. Got blue, orange, and purple. There's no red option here. You gotta select from the 3. Okay. Let's start with this. Let's start with this because like this is the old school Carvin look. Rats. So, build your own. Is there a price difference between the colors? No. Okay, good. Now, build your own. Now, this is the front. This is the back. You got it all going. All right, so model is obviously that. So by the way, so for those who are not used to this is basically where you get all the shapes, right? So for example, headless guitar, solos, retro, DC, all the styles that Kiesel provides. You literally can select your body shape in whichever way you like, and it'll you know. There are expensive guitars, dude. Yeah. So this is like a custom online experience, basically. And they custom built that for you the way you like it. This is a custom guitar. This is not, and they are expensive. But you can select your body type from here. That's the O2 model. That's the DC that we're using. DC 127. There we go. And you can click on any of these and see what happens here. Literally changes the shape of that body of the guitar. And you can just select whatever you like. It'll custom build it for you. This is their new Kyber model, for those who haven't seen it. We talked about it, I think, a couple streams ago. A2 neck through. Vader, where's Vader? That's their V. Headless V. Ultra V. And all that jazz. So there's like heaps of different options here, right? That's Vader. There we go. That's their famous Vader model that some people say it looks like something else. So this is the DC model, right? Now, dexterity, you can select whether you want it right-handed or left-handed. So that's good. Scale length. 25 is the only option we've got, so we're going to leave it there. Case comes with a case. You can uncheck it. Can you uncheck it? You can't uncheck it. No. So it comes with a case included in it already. $1,800, right? So that's the general option. Now, body options. Beveled body edges, rounded body edges. You can play around with that, whether you want it beveled or rounded. We just keep it at that. Wood, body wood. Check this out. Black limba, roasted swamp ash, alder, mahogany. No thanks. Swamp ash, walnut. The walnut is known to be a heavy wood and will add extra weight to your build. Would you like to continue? Isn't that cool? Like, it gives you all these notifications and whatever not. But we're gonna go with black limba. How about that? We'll just choose black limba and go with it. We can go with alder or black limba. We'll just go with black limba for now. For whatever. Top wood. None. You can add a black limba top wood to it, mahogany top wood, swamp ash, whatever. And if you do that, you can see the price tag, like $200 extra, whatever. So I'm gonna go with Buckeye maple. For shits and giggles, right? Now, finish. What type of finish do we want? I don't want any finish on that guitar. You know? Translucent colors. Satin colors. Yeah, we're just going to leave it like that. We're just going to rear body natural clear. Yeah, we're just going to leave it like that. This is a beautiful piece of wood. I'm not going to put color or whatever on it. This looks amazing already. Okay, so that's the body option. Then there's a whole bunch of additional options there if you want to burst it or whatever not. We're just going to leave it at that. Right. Now, the neck options. Neck wood. 1 piece, 2 piece, 3 piece. See all these options here, man? It's awesome. I'm going to go with maple with 1 striped walnut. There we go. We're going to go with that. Number of fret 24. Neck profile. Do you want it thinner? Yes. And it's for free, so you get like a discount there. So we're going to go with that. Standard fingerboard. Kiesel treated fingerboards. So, again, zebra wood. Let's go with that. Royal ebony. We'll go with that. Fretboard radius, I like my stuff flatter. We're going to go with 20. Inlay shape. Offset dots. Crescent moon. Select is not compatible. Okay, we'll cancel that for now. We're just going to stay like... Or diamonds? No. No, offset dots is better. We're just going to go with offset dots for now. And then... Guys, if you're getting stressed by this process, understand we're not actually buying this and you're not actually paying for this, okay? Because what happens is every time I'm doing this, I'm looking at the prices and I'm like, oh my God, it's becoming more and more expensive. I'm like, no, I'm not going to buy it. I'm just taking everybody through the buying experience of buying things online from Kiesel. So... we got that going on. Frets, stainless steel jumbo, mid jumbo. Yeah, that's fine. just gonna leave it at that. Headstock shape. This is awesome. This looks great already. Why would I change that? Headstock overlay. Don't care. Leave it like that. Headstock finish. Genuinely don't care. Never cared about the headstock finish of my guitar. It does not impact. It does not impact the play-in. And the less stuff you cover the wood with, the better the resonance. So never, never, ever wanted in my life to have anything to cover my headstock or anything of that nature. Just didn't care. Truss rod cover, cream, white, black. We'll just leave it as that. Okay, so those are the necks. Electronic, 2 humbuckers, 1 humbucker. Okay, so that's like a HSH. We don't want that. We just go with 2 humbuckers. Pickup models. Whatever. Neck. Whatever. You know? So bottom line is, you just like literally change anything you like, however you like it. And once you're done with it, it's going to look like, look at that, man. My goodness. So you basically go through all these options and you come down with like a final price and a final whatever on the guitar. And this guitar looks insane, by the way, right? But this is what I meant when I said that this is where Kiesel really excels, right? They literally, in doing so, just made an old school DC-127 model, like an old school model. They turned it into something fresh and new. Do you know what I mean? Like a modern player, a millennial, a Gen Z can love this guitar. Is what I'm trying to say. Right? Because a lot of times it's just not the case. Right? You know, you got a younger person that is looking at an old school guitar and they don't love it. It's not really theirs, you know. Whereas now, even a young person can just love this guitar and have a good time with it. And I find that really impressive. It really does impress me. So yeah, the DC-127 is out, folks. It's crazy. Now, again, it's an expensive guitar, $2,800, but it's a custom guitar. There's a lot of customizable features, like so many details you can actually play around with. So strap buttons, strings, tuning, nut. So literally they set it up and do everything for you to send you. It's like a full package, full custom package for $3,000 basically. I don't know. I just like it. I just like that option to be there. And I understand that it's very expensive, but I just love that option to be there so that at some point when people can afford it, if a young person can ever afford it, if they're, you know, their parents are going to, you know, buy them something expensive, at least you get the option, and that's good. And understand also, by the way, as technology gets better, CNC machines gets better, AI gets integrated into all of these guitar building processes, the cost of these things is just going to come down. The only thing to worry about is the cost of material. Otherwise, the OPEX, the operational cost, is going to come down. The cost of build is going to come down. As the cost of energy comes down, so we get renewables and old school energy and just increase our energy productivity, a lot more electrons in the system, the cost of producing is going to come down too. It's like, you know, so it is $3,000 now, but I don't know whether it's going to be $3,000 forever, you know. So that's the good thing. So how do we feel about this? Like, if you are open, this is the thing with Kiesel guitars, right? Because of the brand, but because of the fact that you customize your own guitar the way you like it, if you buy a guitar like this, it doesn't have much of a resale value, right? I don't know whether you'd be able to sell it for half the price you bought it. Do you know what I mean? The resale value for this is horrible because number one, it's Kiesel, and Kiesel is a really good brand. But when it comes to resale, right, old established brands are the brands that matter, namely Fender and Gibson. Les Paul, Strat, and Tele, right? These three guitars from those two specific brands have the best resale value of all because they're the most established. So I'm not saying Kiesel's brand is a bad brand. I love Kiesel guitars, right? That's why I talk about it, because I like it. I get excited by the stuff they do, right? But it's not going to have resale value because of that. And then number two is because you customize it the way you like it. So if you like, for example, zebra wood or royal ebony on your fretboard, another person might just love a guitar with ebony. They don't want something messy or colorful or whatever, you know, simple. So if you like simple looking guitars, the guitar that I just built is not to your taste. Do you know what I mean? So as a result of that, it is, the resale value also is not going to be as good. But yeah, but then again, and then comes the flip side of the argument. That is, if you want to order a guitar, like a custom guitar, and you're already thinking about the resale value, maybe you shouldn't buy it. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to buy a custom built guitar and think about resale value, that's not logical at all. You shouldn't be doing it. Doroteo says, for $3,000, I can buy a Vola OZ Supernova Japanese made, and have $1,300 left. What is a Vola OZ Supernova? Let's see. Hold on. Vola Oz Supernova Japanese made. Ah, Vola guitars? I've never heard of them before, dude. Hola. Let's see. And you would be right. $1,600 US. You're absolutely right on that one. Let's check it out. I've never seen it, so if anyone else also haven't seen this guitar before in their lives, this is Vola guitars. This is Adam Phillips' signature model. I don't know who Adam Phillips is either, to be fully honest. That is 2,500 Australian dollars. That's 1,600 US dollars. And this is how the guitar looks like. It looks like galaxies. Or no, it's not galaxies. This is like a atom, like a core with electrons moving around. Okay, what are the specs? The signature model of Metal Vet Adam Phillips collaborative distillation of balancing grit Supernova introduces several new features. Most notable is the Evertune bridge. That's the thing. Man, if you're promoting your guitar, don't promote it with another company's name and brand. Like, hey guys, our guitars are awesome, but we're using a product from another factory. You know what I mean? Right? That's not a good marketing sentence at all, by the way. Right? You would say, look, instead you would say one of the most notable one is our super comfortable neck that we uniquely do. Or is our super unique body shape that we uniquely do. Or our guitar balance is insane. Something that you've done. Not, oh, we've bought from Evertune and shoved it on our guitars. That is not a selling point. Because now your guitar has to compete with every other guitar that is out there with Evertune. This could be an insanely good guitar. I'm not trashing the guitar or the artist or the brand. I'm just saying whoever did the website or whoever did the sales marketing spiel didn't do a good job here at all. Right? Perhaps the most notable of those is the Evertune bridge. Like, Imagine you're selling like Pepsi, right? Imagine you're selling Pepsi, and then you say, "Hey, ladies and gentlemen, Pepsi, we taste amazing, so on and so forth." And one of the most notable features of our cans is that we use this cap that also Coca-Cola uses it, and you guys can open it very comfortably. And you would think, well, why did you have to say Coca-Cola? Do you know what I mean? Anyways. Whose patented technology gives immutable tuning stability and intonation. That's bad, man. Paired with Gouda lock-in tuners and a GraphTech nut, good. Consistently permeates the playing experience. The alder body coated with an elegant white gloss finish and black binding for a timeless contrast. I like it. Bolt-on roasted maple. Love it. Love roasted maple. Features 24 medium jumbo stainless steel frets, providing longevity, durability. The neck also employs a Vola modern C profile with a compounding thickness. Love that. You got such an awesome neck. That is much more unique than the frickin' Evertune. Promote what you've done so well. What are you doing? Vola guitars. Hold on, I gotta go to my evil look at me view. Hold on a second. Dear Vola, the CEO, this is a direct message to the CEO. Look at me. Look into my eyes. They're a little red because I'm sleep deprived, but that's okay. When you have such an awesome neck feature, so you have a modern C shape, which I would guess it's Fender inspired, so it's gonna be mass crowd friendly. Okay, look at me. And then it's roasted maple, so that's much better than, honestly, in all sincerity, I love roasted maple necks much more than normal maple neck. It's my favorite type of neck, okay? So that's awesome. That's an awesome feature. And then what was the other feature? Hold on a second. Hold the CEO on the line. I'm gonna come back. GraphTech nut. There we go. Compound thickness. For extra comfort on your necks. And you put all of that aside. Neck. And, by the way, we have a guy here in the chat, Mr. CEO, called Dorotio, who agrees with me that the neck is the most important part of the guitar. It's in the top 3. Okay? You have all these awesome features and the most important part of the guitar, and your selling point is Evertune. Look at me. Look at me. CEO of Vola, look at me. Look. Aren't you embarrassed? Aren't you embarrassed? You should be! You should be embarrassed! Okay? As you guys can see, I'm very passionate today. Very passionate. I'm sleep deprived. And that makes me very passionate. Usually people, when they get sleep deprived, they don't care. They're like, just all right, whatever, man. Let me just go to bed, man. I need to chill a little, and I gotta go to a certain island, and I'm tired, I told him. And they become like that. The one and only Mr. Sorenzo is not like that. I get more passionate when I'm sleep deprived, okay? All right, let the CEO, he can go back to sleep. Let the CEO know he can go back to sleep. Let him go. Let him go. The bolt-on roasted maple neck. Modern C profile. Sounds like Fender inspired to me. compounding thickness. And from an electronic standpoint, the guitar is tonally... Oh, I'm not sharing my screen. Sorry, my bad. And from electronic standpoint, the guitar is tonally driven by a VHC humbucker in the neck and a Fire Ice humbucker in the bridge. Both designed in-house. So you have in-house features! So you have in-house features. Why are you talking about Evertune? Who did this spiel? This is, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Guys, I did ops, so that's marketing and sales for a cosmetic company in Australia. We were trying to, it's a British company. We were, you know, expanding their wings in Australia and in the US. This is like first year trainee stuff. Like what I'm telling you guys, it might sound like, oh my God, it's really like, for those who are never did sales and marketing in their lives before. I used to do it, and then I completely moved on to a different sector in my life. As you guys can see, dance and then guitar. But like, this is first year stuff. This is not advanced stuff. You don't try to sell Pepsi by saying, oh, we got the same feature as Coke. Additional control is introduced by volume knob, push-pull pot to incorporate a coil tap, three-way switch to tie different combinations, installation of a kill switch. Ah, that's the one right there. That's the kill switch. Further expands its creative potential. That's an awesome guitar, dude. Doroteo, thank you. That's an awesome guitar, by the way. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm not a fan of the body shape. I don't like the body shape. This is going to be, especially for somebody like me who sits in a classical position mostly when he practices. So I either practice standing, I play standing or seated. And when I play seated, it's classical, right? I don't know whether that edge, that curve would be a comfy thing for me at all. And I don't like the look of the body of the guitar. Like they could have just like done something similar to Kiesel Kybers, you know? This one. I'll show you guys. Body options. No, where was it? Model? Yeah, Kyber. Look at that. See this shape? They could have done something like that if they wanted that uniqueness, you know, there. Maybe. But I'm not a fan of the look of it, and I don't think that it's comfortable for playing in classical, right? But other than that, this is an awesome looking guitar. Look at the shape of the headstock, and believe it or not, every luthier I spoke with said that the headstock, getting the shape of the headstock right is really difficult. Because number one, you got trademarks to worry about, so you don't want to make it look like any other brand, because headstock is like a very important part of the guitar for brand recognition, right? Very, very important. So you have to make it unique, and you have to make it good, and considering the fact that a lot of great ideas are already taken. Ergonomic, symmetrical-ish, you know, stuff that is pleasing. And there's a science to it. There's a science to what's pleasing, what shapes are pleasing to the mass populace, right? Getting the headstock shape right is a difficult thing to do. And they've done a really good job at it. I really dig it. But yeah. Doroteo says, for all those specs, Kiesel will cost about $3,500. Yeah, you're probably right. That is true. That is certainly true. The only difference is that in Kiesel you can do your customization, but then again, like $2,000 is a ginormous price difference, right? And these guitars look super good. Like, I haven't played with one. Again, today is the first that I've ever heard of the brand, thanks to you. Yeah, like, if you wanted the same features, why would you buy a Kiesel? Just buy this. You know what I mean? And the features look really good. It has a kill switch, too. Like, this is a versatile guitar. Gota tuners. There we go. Made in Japan. Can't go wrong with made in Japan guitars, can you? You really can't. Look at the neck. I know everyone looks at the buttons and the neck hug and everything else, but isn't roasted maple necks the best? It so is, swear to God. Alder body, ebony fingerboard, roasted maple neck with all the features we talked about. 42 mil Graphtec nut, 24 stainless steel medium jumbo, 25.5-inch scale. So we can down tune on this pretty wild. That's good. It's not baritone, but for a standard guitar, 25.5 is better than 25 or 24.9, right? Atom logo, 12-inch radius. That's a bit of a surprise. I thought it would be flatter, because the guy is a metal player, I think. And that's fine. Vola pickups. I don't know these specific pickups. Never heard of them before. Go to locking tuner. And comes with D'Addario strings. And it comes with a gig bag. This is a great guitar from the looks of it. Just looking at the specs, this is a really good guitar. All right, hold on a second. Let me see if I can hear something. The guy playing. Hold on. Mute the sound. Let's check this guy out. What do we got here?
I'm Adam Phillips, and this is my signature series guitar, the Vola Oz 24 AP Supernova.
He looks angry. I'm just going to put it out there. Already, this man looks angry. Okay. Hold on. What amp is it? What is that? What is that brand? Dryity Wood? Anyone knows that brand of amplifier? What is it? What's that model? I'm not really an expert on amps, so I'm genuinely asking. What is...
When I started designing this guitar
Driftwood. Okay, we'll look it up after.
in conjunction with the Vola, the goal was to create the perfect marriage between a metal shredder and a blues machine. And I think we managed to achieve exactly that with this guitar. I chose to go with a roasted maple neck because of how spanky they sound and how durable they are. I also wanted the thinnest neck profile possible for ease of playing. Being that it's a bolt-on neck, we wanted to go for a contoured neck joint so you can easily reach the 24th fret on any string. You've got 24 jumbo stainless steel frets. One of the most important things when designing this guitar was tuning stability. So we decided to go with the Goto Magnum Lock Trad locking tuners, a string tree, and if that wasn't enough, it comes equipped with an Evertune bridge.
Okay. First of all, metal and blues. So that's an interesting combination. You don't hear that often. So the bridge pickup is going to be high output wild, and your neck pickup is going to be, yeah, like a bluesy sound, like high on mids, I would think. That's a really interesting combination. A couple of things I just noticed. So he said the headstock has a string tree. So we're talking about Fender, neck design again. Like I told you guys earlier on, when I talked about modernized C shape, I'm like, that sounds like Fender to me. I just noticed it. So the neck is a straight one-piece neck here. There's no headstock neck joint. And it's a flat sort of a design. It's like, use the Fender guitar building paradigm. For this, you sort of put the string trees there so that your strings don't pop out of the nut. So he liked Fender necks. That's for sure. You can see that here. Blues on metal, huh? You don't expect to hear that often.
In fact, this is the first Vola guitar to come with an Evertune bridge. The pickups are Vola Fire Ice, which are great for spanky blues and provide all the bite you need for metal. I also wanted to go with somewhat simplified controls. You've got one volume knob, which is push-pull for coil tapping, a 3-way toggle switch, and an LED Tessie kill switch. Visit volaguitars.com to order yours today.
Interesting. That is really interesting. Yeah, he looks too angry for blues. Like he's looking at the camera like really, really angry, like a metal guy, right? Like a metal guy's persona, like. And he's like, yeah, my guitar is good for metal and for blues. So the man has a soft side. The monster does have a soft side, after all, which is beautiful, by the way. No, that's interesting. That's, and it's sold out too, so that's a good thing, right? I really dig the inlay here. And the kill switch. I'm surprised he didn't use the kill switch in the demo. He should have used the kill switch in the demo. Yeah. There we go. So that is the Supernova, courtesy of Senor Dorotio. Thanks, man. Thanks for introducing us to a new guitar. What do you guys think about it? What does everybody feel about this guitar? I like it, man. Like, it's not the best guitar for me. My only issue with it is its strap button on the guitar body side, like on the belly side, and that curvature there. Here, I'll show you. This bit. So you got the strap button there, and then you got that curve, like there. I'm not a biggest fan of that. Like, if I play in the classical position, it's going to poke into my leg. But that's my only objection to this guitar. It's not, so for that, it's not the best guitar. Otherwise, like, the neck is perfect for me. Like, from just theoretically, again, you have to play the guitar, touch the guitar, so you can, you know, confidently 100% talk about the guitar. But theoretically, looking at the specs, this is like the perfect neck for me. Other than the fretboard radius, I guess, right? So I like flatter, like 16 inches, 20 inches. That's where I like to vibe. But yeah, it's nothing wrong with it, man. So here we go. That was our first item on the docket. Well, not really first. We talked about the Kiesel one first, right? But that was the first item on the docket. And the second item on the docket, that's actually a perfect segue, by the way, because we were talking about the guitar neck. This article came out in Guitarist yesterday, which I wanted to talk about as well today. And Dorotio already gave us the answer for. That is, what is the most... The question is, right, and I'm going to ask you guys. If you just joined the stream later on, try to answer it. What do you think is the most important feature in an electric guitar? Like, what is the most important thing? Is it the body? Is it the guitar weight? Is it the pickup? Is it the neck? Is it the strings? Well, strings not really part of the guitar. Is it the tone wood? What is it? What's the most crucial feature? Number one feature of an electric guitar. And don't give me answers like, oh, functionality, like being functional. That's not a feature. Assuming that the guitar is healthy and functional, right? What is the one most important feature there? Tell me. Dorothy and I agree that most important feature is the guitar neck. Now, funny enough, maybe 2-3 days ago ish, Paul Reed Smith, the luthier, is doing a bunch of videos. Like, he posted this video about, he calls it the rule of tone, and they talk about, supposedly are supposed to talk about, you know, their building processes and the rule of tone. In it, by the way, they really don't talk about the rule of tone. They just bring some manager from the warehouse and they talk about oh, how many staff you got and how hard is it and all that jazz. They really don't talk about what goes into, you know, creating it, like technical stuff for that matter. But check this out. He said something really interesting in that video, which I saw, which I was really disappointed of, by the way. I was like, man, you say rule of tone. I come here to try to listen to you for something extra technical and insider, you know, insights. And then all you do is just to bring a manager up and talk about how he manages his team. And I'm like, that's boring. I don't like it. But he said something important there in that video, which I agreed. And he's like, look, the neck is the break, is the make or break of the guitar. Right, you got a good neck, there was a chance. You could argue that the pickups are the most important thing, but in the end, there's nothing more important on the guitar than this. Paul Reed Smith on a guitar's most crucial feature and how it dictates your tone. Forget pickups and the weight of the guitar. This is where tone really starts, according to Smith. Few topics can split the guitar community quite like the genesis of tone. Some will argue it comes from the hands. And they were right. It does. You know, who plays the guitar matters, right? If you get a 5-year-old to drive a Ferrari or a Lambo, it won't matter. That person's not going to be able to drive the Lambo, okay? So the driver matters. Others, the pickup or the overdrive pedal. If someone says the overdrive pedal is the most important feature of their tone, there's something wrong. Something is going wrong there, okay? Or a tube amp. PRS has now weighed on which aspect of the guitar is most crucial to good tone, and it's none of the above. You could argue that the pickups are the most important thing, or the weight, but in the end, when you're holding the guitar, how it feels, how you change the length of the strings, how it resonates. There is nothing more important on the guitar than the neck. And Dorothy and I agree. You have the body of the guitar, and then you have the neck. And it's A-weighted. It has tuning pegs at one end, and there are more frets at one than the other end. So what he means is that as you go to the higher end, so higher notes, your frets distance reduces. So on one half, you have more nickel steel, you know, or whatever your fret material is. So the strength of the neck has a huge impact on how it resonates. He's, again, 100% right. Imagine a bow, like bow and arrow. Imagine a bow. So think of your guitar neck being the wood part of the bow, and think of the string being the string, right? If you have a strong bow and you let go of the thing, of the arrow, and you shoot, that strong wood in the bow is going to go wiggle, 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 resonate, and that resonance at higher frequencies especially is going to last longer than something that is completely floppy. It's going to go wow, 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 and it's going to fade away. The strength of the neck makes an impact on how well your string resonates. So, if I go here, in the end, when you're holding the guitar, how it feels, how it resonates, there's nothing more important than the neck. Now, can I say something? I'm going to go through the rest of the article in a second, but here's how I think about it. You know, when talking about the guitar tone, one of the things that people say is, you know, you have to focus on whatever touches the string. Anything that touches the string is God. You have to focus on that, right? Here's what I'd say. When it comes to how you feel the guitar, like, you know, when you play with the guitar, how it feels, how comfy it is, yada, yada, it's wherever your hands are touching that matters. So if you're playing seated in a classical position, it'll be the upper belly, right? Oh, shit. Is it okay? Yeah, all right. Thank God. I just hit one guitar to the other, and I hate it when I do that. Sorry. So, it's this. I'll put it here. It's wherever your body touches, that is God. So here, 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 and there. Right? That's God. So if you get these things right, the guitar is going to feel comfortable. If this part of the belly of the guitar is too shallow, or is it like angled weirdly, you're not going to get it. It's not going to be comfortable. That is why V-shaped electric guitars are not ideal to play in a classical seated position, right? Same with the neck, right? And this is where the most of the action takes place. So it kind of makes sense that from a comfort and feeling point of view too, the neck is probably the most important thing, right? And you can see it, like you get different guitar body shapes, but the neck shapes are always the same, right? It's that and a fretboard. Yes, the C shape, V shape, D shape, or yes, the fretboard radius is different, but the main concept is the same. It's not as dramatically different between like this, a Super Strat, and then a V-shaped guitar or an Explorer, right? Is what I'm trying to say. So, I got a little passionate there. So, PRS's approach to neck making has been chiseled down to a fine art over the years. Its learning process is assisted by collaboration with its artist, everyone from John Mayer to Periphery's gent maestro, Mark Holcomb. We call them gent maestros now. So if you play gent, you are also a maestro. This label of maestro is no longer exclusive to classical guitar players. Okay, we own it now. Putting their electric guitars through different tests. One of the things that is important from the rules of tone is not putting the neck under a huge amount of tension unless it's from the strings. When you have to tighten the truss rod too much, it adds a lack of sustained low mid-range to the instrument. If you're going to put a really heavy gap strings on it and tune it up, you're going to need a truss rod. The more guitars we make for artists, the more we learn. Okay, he has a point there. I'll add one more thing. That is, truss rod is like a parachute feature. I call it, right? And by that, I mean, your guitar neck should work well without any truss rod adjustments. And then truss rods only comes in when it's needed, kind of a deal. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a feature that if something then goes wrong, you use the truss rod to fix it and make sure your guitar is well, has enough relief in it and yada yada. It's not like if you get a brand new guitar and you put a standard set of strings in it and it comes with like a relief or back bow and you have to make truss rod adjustments from its neutral state, like that's then what it tells me is that there's something not really ideal going on there. Do you know what I mean? Otherwise, you shouldn't need to use it much. So that's a feature of a good neck. Is what I'm gonna is like I'll die on this hill, right? And I understand that the fact that it's there is a good thing, PRS made a guitar for Tim Pierce that doesn't have a truss rod. They made that guitar for him like a few years ago. It's not like ancient history. Doesn't even have a truss rod. It's supposed to work with 942 gauges or something. Standard tuning. So yeah. I usually, when I get to this part of an article and I've seen the video, the rule of tone video that PRS's YouTube is posted, and everybody knows here, knows me, knows that I'm a fan of PRS's, and I would be like, oh guys, check out the video. No, not really. Doesn't worth the watch, to be completely honest. Like, I'll watch the rest of the series in hopes that there are better videos out there, but the rule of tone videos so far has been a little disappointing. I thought I'm gonna get something like really nice, really exclusive, a piece of knowledge that you can't find anywhere else. And all I saw was the neck section's manager coming up and talking about how he manages the team. And yeah, I don't know. It was a little underwhelming, is what I'm trying to say. Anyways. All right. Shall we move to the next item on the docket? By the way, before we move to the next item on the docket, I am in a process of finalizing a multi-day video, right? And in that video, I'll get a guitar that I bought brand new, and it had a crappy neck, really bad neck, and I sanded and I fixed it. And it, I think, took me 3 days to record it. Like, I did the works in 3 different days. It wasn't all like neck work. It was like a bunch of sanding involved and all that. And I'll post that video soon. You guys check it out. Because again, like, I literally put the, my sandpapers and sand pads and everything else in the cupboard there, like, today. And so when I tell you that I really believe that neck is probably the most important part of the electric guitar, like, I'm telling you the truth. My fingers are burning right now because I didn't use gloves when I was sanding and everything else, and I always, get my fingers rubbed by the sandpaper. So check it out. It'll come in maybe in a couple of days. It's just a lot of work, finishing the video, then editing it all and getting it ready. So 2-3 days probably will come out. So when I tell you neck is important, it really comes from here. It really comes from the bottom of my heart. So Doroteo says, soon I will buy an axe with a truss rod wheel at the body position, not the headstock. Charvel or AI or Schecter. Okay. What models do you have in mind, I wonder? So Charvel, yeah, Charvel's a safe bet. They've got really good guitars with truss rods, with a wheel truss rod at the body. And the good thing about those, for those who don't know, guys, so the good thing about the wheel truss rod at the body position is that you don't need to undo the neck to adjust your relief. And that's a really important thing, because for me, when I set up my guitars, when I set up like guitars for others, I always want to have the string on the neck when it's possible, right? Talking about setting up the guitar, not talking about fixing necks. I'm not a professional luthier, so I don't fix like neck stuff, right? Like, I do sanding and shaping and all that jazz for my own guitars at home, but I don't like do it professionally. But talking about setting up the guitar, you must have the strings on the neck for you to be able to, measure your relief, right? So one of the good things about a wheel truss rod at the neck body joint, like in that position, is it can literally put your wrench in there and move it one way or the other, and it allows you to do it hassle-free, as opposed to truss rods that are in the neck body joint, but they're like kind of embedded in, so you have to undo the neck to actually do it. Washburn N4's got that. So for me to adjust the relief, I'm gonna actually literally have to undo the neck, and probably the Washburn N4's got the most complicated neck body joint when it comes to like bolt-on necks because of Stevens' extended cutaway. So I don't want to unscrew that thing either. Like, I have this hesitancy, but I have to do it when I have to do it. Right? Zuhair, how are you doing? What's happening? How you feeling? You good? But yeah, that's like a really good Sandemus. Okay, everybody check this out. Hold on a second. For those who don't know, this is what Dorothy was talking about. Hold on. Charvel Sandemus. Just tired, but well. How about you? I'm good, brother. I'm good. I'm glad you're well. Not so glad that you're tired, but I'm glad you're well. So, this is the Sand D Pro mod. And by the way, can I tell you something? This is like not that far from, you know, Chapman guitars. The concept is very good. So you'll feel right at home if you buy it. Like, here we go. Like, this is a concept for those who don't know. And Charvel is owned by Fender. So there's a lot of Fender sort of style features like the headstock shape and all that, and the neck shape and everything else. But this is the guitar. Whoa, oh, there we go. Now, you don't have to buy a guitar relic, obviously, but this is what Dorothy was talking about. I love it. It's a nice model. Schecter C-1 SLS. Okay. Schecter C-1 SLS. I think CLS is classic. Really? A semi-hollow? No way. Okay. That's interesting. Can't imagine plays 80s songs on it. I think I like the white one more. You're talking about the Charvel still. Let me go back. Yeah, Charvels look really good. They're really good looking guitars. No question. But they have a really elegant design on the Strat. Like simple, nice and elegant. Like, hold on, Charvel Pro Mod. I want to show you the non-relict ones. I like the non-relict ones more. This was like the first link, so I just clicked on it. Like, I love this. Like, it looks so nice and simple. And that roasted maple sits really well with the aqua color. I really like this look. Really, really do. Dorotio got a aqua Chapman. So, yeah. Like, I dig it. I wouldn't want to buy one with a floating bridge, but I really dig this guitar. The look of it, the looks and the aesthetics of it. Yeah. Jim Root has a signature model. Jim Root signature Charvel. So Jim Root is the one of the guitarists of Slipknot. He has a white one and a black one. There we go. Zuhair, what do you think of this? So the pickups are like high output EMGs, but they're passive. And they are, what was that EMG model? So it's a bolt-on 12 to 16 compound radius fretboard, 22 frets, Floyd 1000s, and yes, signature EMG Jim Root guitar pickups. Looks like it disappeared into the background. That's how wide it is. You're right. Not that helpful, is it? Okay, what about this? All right. Imagine the guitar is white. How does this look? Here, let me show you a completely opposite to the color you like, and then then ask you to make a comment about the total opposite. It looks really good, right? It looks really nice. So yeah, that's the thing. But yeah, man, they're really stable guitars. I've heard only good things about Charvel's Dorotio. SLS. Dorotio says Schecter C-1 SLS. Okay, so it's not this one. I'm like, no way. Schecter C-1 SLS. There we go. Okay. That's more like it. Ah. What do we have here? Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. And it is a neck through guitar. It's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-piece neck. Holy smokes. What's the scale length on this baby? Hold on. No way it's 25.5. Please tell me it's more. It is 25.5. Okay. Solid body, mahogany body, gloss finish, supernova color. So it's a maple walnut Paduke neck. Okay, that's a heavy neck, by the way. Ultra thin C. That's a stable ass neck. Can I tell you something? For a 25.5-inch scale guitar, you're not gonna put like really thick string gouges and then up tune your guitar. Like you're not gonna buy 1152 strings and then tune it to standard E tuning, right? So that's gonna like add too much tension to the neck. But that neck is a super stable neck. That's a strong neck, by the way. And it's like walnut and Paduke, but it's a neck through design. So in terms of the guitar balance, it's not going to impact your guitar balance much because that same type of piece of wood is in the body half of the guitar too. That's a really interesting guitar. This is a really interesting guitar, and I'm not exaggerating or lying to you guys. This is really interesting. Okay. 12 to 16-inch compound radius. The Charvel one had the same too. So you like compound radiuses, don't you? 12 to 16. Ebony, Hollywood stars, 24 extra jumbo frets. They are stainless steel. Standard width in the nut. Graphtec XL nut. Ergo hardtail bridge. So the Ergo is this, guys. That's the Ergo hardtail bridge. Here we go. It's very minimalistic. If you have a look at the bridge shape, it's a very minimalistic bridge. So, Tone Pro's AIM Series locking tuners, never heard of them. Fishman Fluence Alnico ceramic pickups. Wow, okay. Comes with 1046 Ernie balls. And it doesn't come with a gig bag. So 1046, again, it's one step higher than your standard 942 gauge, right? You put that on this guitar and, you know, you tune your guitar standard. This neck is going to be super stable. That's a stable neck, by the way. Walnut, Paduke, maple, 7-piece neck, huh? Yeah. I don't know. Like, it's so good that it has it, but it didn't need to. It's a bit of an overkill. like a normal maple neck could have done it, but they've done a phenomenal job. This is like a super good feature. It's like driving 20 miles per hour on a Lambo. Now, do you need a Lambo to drive 20 miles per hour? No. It can go 250 miles per hour. But it's kind of nice to have the Lambo. This is like that. Right? You don't need a 7-piece walnut Paduke neck on a 25.5-inch scale guitar with 1046 string gouges tuned to standard tuning. You don't need that. But this guitar is that neck is gonna resonate, baby. I love this. Okay, so you got the Charvel Pro, the Charvel Pro mod, right? And then you got the Schecter C-1 SLS. And by the way, this is not the only color, dare I say. There is 2 other colors I think I saw. You got the black one. And then you got another black one, I guess. Oh, there we go. There's a bunch of different colors, I guess, right? There's one that comes with Sustainiac. Okay. So you got that going on. And then what was the third one, dude? There was a third one that you said you're thinking about. AIO. What model? Hold on, let me open this. Keep this open. Go back. Keep this open. AIO. What model? What AIO? The SLS is amazing. Look at the dark purple glittery body. Yeah, look at that. It looks super good. The only downside of it, I think, for me is the gloss finish. Because if I'm not mistaken, like these type of colors usually come with gloss finishes to make it more shiny, right? The only thing for me is that gloss finish makes it a little sticky to play. And that's just for me. It's not for everybody. Right? Like a lot of people love that feeling. Like take it over satin any day. So if you're that kind of a person, it's going to work perfectly fine. And the color changes too, huh? It's one of those ones that on the bright side is purple, on the dark side is something else. Yeah, right. Kind of purple gold vibe, huh? Yeah. So next time when when you're near your local guitar store, just go in the store and play with some gloss finish guitars. And when you do that, don't wear long sleeve shirts of any sort so that your skin literally rubs against it and you'll feel it right away. Can you see my above question? Kind of obvious maybe. What does longer scale length mean longer neck? Sorry, I didn't hold on a second. Where was your... it was just that. Does longer scale length means a longer neck? Yes and no, after a certain point. So like, for example, like if you look at bass guitars or baritone guitars, they've got a longer scale length and they've got longer necks. But for guitars that are like 24.9 or 25 and a half maybe, it can have a longer neck or it can be not that different either. Yeah. I don't know though what the sweet spot is. Like, I don't know where is the sweet spot for you to start changing the neck. Like, I don't know that architecturally. Give me a second. Let me see if I can find that for you. At what point it makes sense to the length of neck. When increasing scale length. When increasing the scale more than 3/4 or an inch, when you pass that point from the looks of it, it makes sense to then increase the length of your neck. So you definitely have to do that. Did that answer the question? I didn't know that too, so thanks for the question. I didn't know where the sweet spot is. But yeah, so it's a yes and no. It's like mostly yes, but yes and no. I think a better way to say it is like longer scale length means that you have a longer string length that is oscillating, right? So for that, it doesn't mean that every time that your scale length is a little higher, you have to definitely increase the length of the neck. So that answer that I gave you, I stand by it. That was a correct answer. But the sweet spot is at around 1 inch. 3/4 of an inch, 1 inch. After that point, you really have to increase the scale length. Yeah. Great question. Great question. Learn something new. Now, where are we? Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Okay, good. Okay, so AIO doesn't have the truss rod wheel at the body position, but what AIO model? Because when I just searched AIO, Sweetwater says EIEIO. Doesn't give me anything. Steve Brown SS265. Steve Brown SS265. It shows the result for Steve Vai. I'm looking, I'm like, why is this a gem? That's not what he said. Hold on a second, let me see if I can find that guitar online, dude. I look, because I'm like sleep deprived and I'm like not trusting myself fully right now. And yeah, Steve Brown SS265 guitar. What do we have here, dude? Ay. I'm not getting it anywhere, man. What are we talking about here? So, all right, let's see for reverb. Got it. I know what you're talking about now. This is what you're talking about. Is that what you're talking about? So it's the hardtail Steve Brown Sound SBS SS265. I think that's what you're talking about. Yeah. Honestly, I think if I were you, I would go for the Schecter. I would go for the Schecter. Just because of the neck. The neck really sold it to me. So yeah, if I were you. And you already have a Chapman guitar, which design-wise is very close to Charvel. Very, very close. Like, a lot of, like, you know, when you got the Strat shapes in Chapman and Charvel, they're very close. Yeah. So, Zohair says usually other guitar streams have to do with music theory or song playing. While I learned so much about guitar making and body construction from you, Sorenzo. Love you, man. Thanks for the words. I'm not a professional luthier. I just love guitars so much. I read about them and I did them. I got a video. I was telling the guys earlier on. I got a video coming up in 2-3 days where I bought a guitar with a horrible neck, like a coarse, rough neck. And I had to sand it, and I talk about the process of sanding it and all that. I'm doing it on camera. It took me 2-3 days to finish the whole thing. I'll edit it, and I'll post it in another 2-3 days. It's just a lot of work. So check that one out. You'll like it. And it's just like with, you know, with like basic stuff you can buy from Amazon. The neck feels awesome right now. Yeah. So you're going to like that video. But the thing is, can I say something? And keep it between us. I don't want people to think, you know, something grandiose about what I'm about to say. Let me stop the music for a second because I want to speak really directly with you guys. And you guys let me know how you feel about it. I think that the marginal cost of knowledge of guitar, music theory, guitar history, all that jazz, is going to go to 0. Okay? Why would you need a teacher for guitar theory when you have ChatGPT 5? Do you know what I mean? That's the reality. Now, obviously, ChatGPT 5 might not, as of now, it may. It can't write a whole book for you. It can't be there, talk to you and interact with you in the same way that a human can. But in terms of knowledge, like, all of it is there, right? So the marginal cost of knowledge is going to 0. But that's one of the reasons why I don't spend too much time. First of all, I don't know much guitar theory. So I play a lot of guitar with really not engaging too much into, like, I know the basic stuff. I know my modes, I know my scales, I know my whatever intervals and yada yada, right? But I don't like dwell on it too much. I don't think about it. I don't go through it too much, because when I write a new song, I don't want to write based on theory. I just want to write based on the sound that is in my head and comes out. And when I play, I don't want to be just playing those things either, you know? So one reason, obviously, is that I'm genuinely no expert in guitar theory whatsoever. So that's one of the reasons I don't talk about it. But the marginal cost of that knowledge is going to 0, and it's accessible to everybody. Right? What matters then when it comes to music theory is not the knowledge of it that everybody talks about on streams and so on and so forth. It's the implementation. It's the doing, right? So it'll make sense, for example, for us to pick up our guitars and be like, all right, guys, you know what? I'm going to play a metronome in the background. And I may do this. I'm actually like seriously considering it. I'm like, you know what? Let's just have fun, have chat. I'm going to play a metronome sound in the background. And we're just going to practice our Dorian scale shapes together, our Dorian mode fingering together, you know, or our Mixolydian or whatever. And slow, like, you know, like at 50 beats per minute, metronome hitting in the background, and for us to practice and vibe with that. So that way we're doing something that is related to music theory-ish, but it's still playing. It's still implementation. As opposed to, all right, guys, let's talk about, you know, why this particular diminished thing sounds like that. And it makes for an interesting argument. It's just that there's so much of it out there, you know? Whereas my approach is like, what makes it, for me, what makes it like, what makes guitar the most fun thing for me ever, right? How can I have most fun with my guitars? And I love like sanding that neck. Like I told you guys about the process of working on the neck. I loved it. Playing my guitar, I love it. Talking about new guitars, specs and features, and it's like you and I are sitting on a couch, you know, having a can of beer open, like Pepsi, I guess, for me, and we're chit-chatting like, dude, look at that guitar. It looks awesome. Right? Or when we go to a guitar store together, like it's like freaking Disneyland. It's so much fun for me, you know? And I'm like, that makes a lot more sense to talk about to me, as opposed to, all right, y'all, this is the circle of fifth. Maybe it's just me. Zohair says, surprised you went through all of that. Must be a great guitar. Also, can you solder them? Yeah. It's a good guitar. It's not a great guitar. You see it on the video. Like, it was probably one of my most disappointing purchases, right? Because the issues that I fixed on the guitar must have been a non-issue for a signature guitar, right? So I bought a signature guitar, and I'm like, that issue shouldn't be there for a guitar at that price point. Can you solder? Yeah, I can solder too. Soldering is not that hard. Once you understand the basics of soldering and how the guitar electronics work, it's pretty easy. In fact, I don't know. I genuinely don't know the cost of these courses or whatever in New York. I don't think it's going to be that different to here where I am. But if you can find like a 1-day workshop, they'll take you through all of it, and then you'll realize how easy it actually is. I bought this, you know, the N4 Washburn that I bought? This guitar was made in 2005. And because it's such an old guitar, it came in a perfect condition. So the guy who bought it was like retired, and he's really old now, and none of his sons wanted to play that guitar, and he had a collection. He never touched that guitar. He had a perfect brand new 2005 N4 Washburn limited edition, and I was like over the moon, so I bought it. And when I bought it, what I noticed is that because the guitar was so old and it was in the case the whole time, the conductive paint inside the cavity was dried out and was no longer working. Like the electrons weren't moving it, right? Because, you know, you can either do copper foil inside those cavities, or you can put conductive paint, and then you cover that at, you know, on the lid as well, and you create a Faraday cage inside so that the guitar doesn't have much noise. And I had to do some work on it. And it's so easy. It's not that hard. Yeah. So if you got like a day course or something that you can do, and like the equipment there is like, I don't know, $30 on Amazon. It's not that crazy expensive. So you can just buy it and play around with it and do it yourself. In fact, you can mod your own guitars now. If you got a guitar that you know you're never going to sell, because when you mod the guitar, the resale value drops significantly, right? But if you got a guitar that you know you don't want to sell, you know, change the pickups. You know, just it's basic soldering. Just remove that, unsolder that, resolder that, add some extra lid in there. Yeah. That's why so many guys can do so many mods at home. You just learn the basics and then play around. And you're gonna make some mistakes, but it's okay. Zuhair says, gotcha. Also agreed about music theory. I also know bits and pieces like you. Implementation is the main thing. Like you come up with 2 chords, and theory helps to know other chords to go with. Exactly right. That's exactly right. Yeah. Yeah. Dorotio said, look it on Google. I did look it on. You're talking about the SBS? I did look it on YouTube, on Google. Reverb was the only one that kind of made sense, which I showed you the purple one. But I did look it up on Google. Yeah. If that's what you're talking about. Is that roasted maple, by the way? Why am I seeing roasted maple everywhere right now? But yeah, that's the thing. But what do you guys think? Like, would you agree with me that the marginal cost of knowledge is going to 0? So all that is left is implementation. Would you agree with me on that? Right. And it's a difficult thing. Like, guitar teachers don't like to hear that. It's a difficult thing to hear for teachers because they spend so much of their time and money learning all these theory, you know, and then they teaching it. But now I think what's becoming much more important is how you bridge the knowledge to implementation. Like that bridge, I think, is where the role of the guitar teacher lies moving forward, if not ever. Yeah. So that's how I feel about it. Yeah. All right. We're gonna almost finish the stream. I got one more thing I wanted to share with you guys that was like bizarre, and I was like, that is a ridiculous idea. Check this out. So there's this Russian guy, Vladimir. I'm kidding. He's not Vladimir. He's this Russian luthier that decided that it's a great idea to make a guitar that looks like donuts. A Les Paul donut guitar. And I think, Doroteo, I really think you should consider buying this one. Forget about the Schecter SLS. Forget about the SBS. Forget about the Charvel guitar. I think buy the donut. Giorgio, look. Buy the donut guitar, okay? You know, you might think, oh, that's not a real guitar. You know, I want to go with Schecter. I want to go with Carvin. Maybe another Chapman. And I hear that, you know, a lot of people think that way too. But go with the donuts. The donut guitar is undefeated. Like, look at it. Look. You can't defeat this guitar. I really... You got the pickup that is made out of sweets. You got the neck inlay that has donuts in it. The only thing missing really here is glowing donut inlays. So that when you perform this at night for everybody, because you're so proud of the guitar, you're not embarrassed to hold it. You're just so proud that you got this instead of the Schecter. Okay. Zuhair says, thankfully I closed my eyes just in time to not see this abomination. How can he call this an abomination? Look at it. It has donuts on it. It has holes in it. It has everything. Like, what more do you want in a guitar? And I'm sure you'd buy it too. Like this, I think you're just being shy about it, Zuhair. I think you're just being shy. You might like, oh, this is an abomination. You know, I'm not gonna buy it. I think you're just being shy. I think, you know, working 2 jobs and making a hard-earned money, you know, I think you're really gonna blow it up on this guitar at the end of the day. I think you're just being shy. I don't know about everybody else. I just think you gotta work hard and then buy something as valuable and as meaningful as a donut guitar. I don't know. That's just my opinion. Dude, can I tell you something? I'm exhausted too. Like, my eyes are red. I don't know if it shows. Yeah, I know how you feel. I gotta tell you. But yeah, a Russian luthier has made a guitar out of, check notes, glazed donuts because, well, why not? It would have been only appropriate if the guy made a guitar that looked like a vodka bottle. I think that would have been very Russian, okay? And we're not talking about stereotypes here. I'm not using stereotypes, guys. I'm just saying all Russian people drink vodka. That's all it is. It's not a stereotype. It's not a bias. All I'm just saying is, you know. Artem Mayer, known as Art Mayer on YouTube, has crafted the guitar in the style of Gibson Les Paul, with its buddy mushing together over 20 donuts for the sweetest 6-string in town. So sweet. Readers may recognize the mad genius from his McDonald's French fries guitar a few years ago, but now it's time for dessert. Dorotio says, money can't buy class. I agree with you. Money can't buy class, and it can't buy taste. Completely agree with you. But, you know, it's a fun thing, you know. People just do it for shits and giggles. You know how it is. Like, I bet you he's just, like, laughing his ass off when he's making the guitar. And, you know, whatever. Like, having fun, making jokes, treating this guitar like a donut in the American Pie movies, you know, all the fun stuff, like guys being guys, I guess. He also has a French fries guitar. Yeah, I've seen that one actually. Hold on. Hartmeyer French fries. It's the worst thing I've ever seen. In all sincerity, it's much worse than the donut guitar. Between this and the donut, wouldn't you take the donut? Sorry. Yeah, this is horrible. This looks horrible. Like, I'll take this one over this one any day. So yes, he does have a French fries guitar. Now, first, the guy cut the body shape out of an unspecified wood. Thank God. I hope it's a cheap wood. Like, I'll be outraged if the guy uses quality tone wood for this crap. Like, I'll be I'll be Candace Owen outraged. Okay, not normal outraged. Candace Owen outraged. You know, like, you guys know when Candace goes on and talks about how like the French president's wife is a guy or something like that. And I don't know if it's true or not. I'm not saying it's true. I'm not saying it's not true. But I'm just talking about the outrage. You know, the outrage that you get. If the guy went on and used quality tone wood for that crap, I'd be Candace Owen outraged. Okay? Okay. Just putting it out there. Unspecified wood before applying a thin top, sculpting its neck and headstock. As for the donuts, unfortunately they're not real, quashing any hopes of a mid-solo snack. Instead, there's a result of very intricate stenciling, drilling, and carving work. Yeah, that's gonna take hours to do. Oh, yeah, all the carving, that is true. Yeah, Zwer says, yeah, didn't ruin some good mahogany and alder for that. Yeah, thank God for that, too. Like, you know what I mean? Just, imagine a guitar that could have been anything awesome just turns out to be, like, becomes a donut thing. The basic donut holes were drilled out before being carefully chiseled into more realistic donut-like sloping curves. That sounds horrible. Sloping curves. With a similar approach applied to their edges, the attention to detail is painstaking. That is true. And he must have been starving during the exhaustive process. That's not true. No, he was not. If you have the time and money to make a donut guitar, you're not starving. Okay? After giving the donut a doughy base layer of paint, Mayer hand-printed the glazing and some exacting details into the guitar while the sprinkles are real. So he put real sprinkles there, and then he probably covered them with some sort of a finish or cover. Ha! And then he puts a P90 style pickup in it. And there we go. I love Candace Owen. She's a beast. She's a beast. There's no question about it. She's a beast. Like, I don't watch political stuff. I'm like all into guitars. But if I know her, that means she's a beast. Like, otherwise, like, more like, you know, people that are not a beast, I probably wouldn't hear about them because I don't look them up online so much. But yeah, she's a beast. She's really good looking too. Like, I don't know much about her. Like, I've seen a few videos. Like, I've saw the French president stuff. But, like, I've saw, like, shorts about, like, her talking about the French president's wife. But I haven't seen much of her. But she's really good looking. And she's verbally very strong, too. Like, she knows her way around words from the looks of it. All right? But let's not make this a political stream, okay? Let's talk about things that I know about, that is guitars. Man, the guy is insane, by the way. Like, that should be an uncomfortable guitar. It's like this is a decor, okay? This is just like a decor of a guitar. Like, those holes and sprinkles are gonna make it painful for your right arm to play, man. Painful. Like, all that friction and all that. Yeah. That's one of the reasons I like. Have you guys seen Honeycomb 3D printed electric guitar bodies. Have you guys seen those? Let me show you one thing, this last thing before I leave. Check this out. Guitar 3D printed Honeycomb. You guys will probably find this interesting. Check this out. See this? So there's like a vast variety of different guitars that are produced, and in unprintables.com you can literally get the 3D sketch. If you got a 3D printer, or you can rent a 3D printer in a university or wherever, you can actually print that body out and then like buy your own pickups online and route it. Zuhair, you could do this. I'm just thinking, and I could do this too. Like once you learn how to solder and set up and all that jazz, you can literally just order a body, a 3D printed body, and then buy a Fender neck online and just attach it to it, screw it to it, and you got a guitar. Do your routing. You don't need to do routing. You don't need to do anything. Just buy a pickup, solder the stuff, do the electronics, put the strings on, set up the guitar, and you got a killer guitar. But one of the reasons that I'm not the biggest fan of this honeycomb design, as good as it looks, is because as you try to like strum or put your right arm on the upper belly of the guitar and play, there's this friction. Like it rubs on your hand if you are not wearing like sleeves or whatever, right? But it looks insane. Look at that. It'll be only plastic though. It'll be some sort of plastic, yes, because you're 3D printing it. So it has to be the same material as the 3D print ink. Yeah. That's the only downside of it, right? But like, I think the second downside also would be that the guitar would feel like too light. Do you guys know that that's one of the reasons why people don't use carbon fiber in their guitars so much? At least yet. One of the reasons why luthiers are hesitant to use carbon fiber bodies is because carbon has such a strong strength to weight ratio. And so you can get a guitar that is made out of carbon fiber. It's gonna turn out to be really light, sometimes too light that it'll feel like a cheap plastic to you in your hands. Now you know it's not cheap plastic, it's carbon fiber, but it feels too light. So a too light guitar can also be a bit of an issue for a lot of players. It feels weird. It really does. I've held one before. It really does feel weird. I have a, hold on. Let me show you guys this. I do have a carbon body guitar that a sponsor gave me a long time ago. Right? Now this one is heavier than your usual carbon fiber guitar because it has an inbuilt speaker. But if the inbuilt speaker wasn't in this guitar, it's a travel guitar, right? This guitar would have been really light. The whole neck and body is made out of carbon fiber. It's just like one piece. This guitar would have been really light, extremely light. So if you guys ever got a chance to also hold like a carbon built guitar, you know what I'm talking about. So yeah. Zohair says too light reminds me of an Ibanez S series guitar. When I sat with it, it would keep falling down on the neck end. Okay. It was like a feather. I found out it was weight relieved, had to return it. This black one reminds me of that Enya guitar. That is the Enya guitar. You're exactly right. It is Enya. So I was, before like last year, I was sponsored by Enya. Yeah. That is the Enya Nova Go Sonic guitar. The reason I didn't mention the name, it wasn't because, like, I still have a good relationship with them. There's no issues. It's just that this is not a sponsored stream. Like, I'm not trying to sell you guys something, you know what I mean? That's why I didn't mention it. But you're absolutely right. It is the Enya Nova Go Sonic guitar. Good eyes, man. Good eyes. Know your guitars. I like it. Yeah, so when I sat with it, it would keep falling down on the neck end. That's not a good sign, though. So weight relief guitars are good, but if it comes at the expense of an unbalanced guitar, it's not ideal. So when you hold the guitar, it should sit comfortably without being neck heavy or body heavy. So not only now you got the too lightness going on there, but you also have a guitar balance issue. Yeah. Doroteo says, with a truss rod wheel at the body. Yes, with a truss rod wheel at the body. Good. Yes. That's exactly right. You're really into those, huh? What is it about truss rod wheel at the body that you like so much? Like, what is it about it that... Is it just the ease of access and doing it? Or is it just how it looks like? Because I get it. Like, if you got a standard truss rod, you got to, you know, remove the truss rod cover. And then you have to go between the strings and try to adjust the truss rod. Is it that? Like... You talked about everything planned today, Kiki technique? No, I didn't talk about the Kiki technique. That's the only one that was left out. We can talk about it if you want. It was, the reason I mentioned that article was because it was a weird one. Like, I was surprised that the person who said it that way. That was like a bit of a surprise for me. So, let's talk about it. It's a brief one. Check this out. Thanks for the reminder, by the way, dude. So, Billy Corgan talks about the technique that he'll never do. Like, he can't do. But Kiki Wong does really well. And guys, by the way, if you don't know, Kiki is like a very big Instagram guitar player. Got really famous there. And then now she's the guitar player for Smashing Pumpkins, which is a great band, by the way. And she's a very competent guitar player. She does create amazing short / reel content. Very accomplished, very accomplished, very skilled, very good looking, amazing guitar girl. So love her. But Billy Corgan talks about this technique that she can't do that he can't, and I was like, that technique is not completely unobtainable the way Billy Corgan says it. You know what I mean? I was like, all right, that's a little weird. So let's talk about this. Give me a second. Let me have a sip of this thing. And you guys can open your cans of beers at home as well, okay? Wong was handpicked by Corgan and Co. from over 10,000 applicants to join the Smashing Pumpkins. And it is safe to say she's been a powerhouse addition to the lineup, no question about it, by the way. Her social media presence helped them so much that I bet you a lot of money, $1,000, that played a massive role in her getting the gig. Right? If there's anything that warrants the term life-changing, it's Kiki Wong being handpicked by Billy Corgan and Co. out of more than 10,000 applicants to join the Smashing Pumpkins. Turns out, Wong made quite an impression from that very first audition. Kiki's audition was the first on this one day. Was the first on this one day? That doesn't make sense. Was the first one on the day? Anyways, somebody set up the schedule. People were traveling in and stuff. And I remember thinking, oh, that's probably not very good for Kiki because the chances of us hiring the first person we see is probably pretty slim. By the time you get to the 8th or 9th person, you're going to have a hard time remembering the first person. Kiki came in and played very well. Now I know how to read Jimmy Chamberlain's body language pretty well. We played together for 35 years. I remember looking at Jimmy and I could tell he was surprised at how Kiki played. We had this thing at the auditions where we played 3 or 4 songs and then we'd sit down and talk to each person for 15 minutes. Aside from her stellar playing, what really gave Wong her edge over the competition was her authenticity and down-to-earth demeanor. She wasn't trying to be someone else. Well, I mean, she's already somebody on social media. Man, she's a great player. But what y'all not saying here is the fact that her social media presence is going to give your band a boost. It's like when labels hire already TikTok famous artists. Like, I'm like, what's the point of a label, right? If you're already famous. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, she's a great player, right? And the fact that she is humble is fantastic. But why aren't you saying that her social media presence is going to help us oldies? Why don't you say that? Say it. Say it, Billy. Billy Corgan is like, what's his face? What's that comedian guy's name? Guys, what's that comedian guy's name? The guy from Boston that gets angry and has an angry podcast. It's friends with Kevin Hart. Can somebody tell his name, please? Bill Burr. Bill Burr, yeah. So Billy Corgan is like the Bill Burr of electric guitar, okay? They kind of look the same. And I was like, okay, this person can hang in our world. After that, the next 3 hours, nobody who followed Kiki could beat her. She was still on my mind, even though we weren't discussing it internally. So she got the gig. Now, what's the technique? There we go. For starters, she got that head field Kerry King downstrokes thing that I could never do. Whatever the F that is. The Master of Puppets thing. Downstrokes. I have to cheat that shit, trust me. I know Johnny Ramone, and he was a big proponent of this. Obviously, Headfit and Kerry King would tell you the same. So would Mustaine. The only way to play that way is you got to do all downstrokes. I remember being at Johnny Ramone's house. All downstrokes. All downstrokes. There's a belief that the attack of the downstroke is better. It is. If you pick up, down, up, down. Oh, no. Okay. It is a belief that the attack of the downstroke is better if you go up, down, up, down. For me, when I see somebody can do that with the downstrokes, I'm like, fuck, I can't do that. You can do that. You just have to, put on a metronome and practice it for an hour a day, and you'll get it a year later. Can do whatever you want. Upstrokes, downstrokes, gallops, whatever. Just put on a metronome and practice. You can, Billy. I don't know. Wong is quick to add that from her end, one of the most jaw-dropping moments on the first tour was just seeing Billy go crazy shred. We have these times when it's all improv, she explains, and hearing some of the voicing he uses, one of the things that you strive for me as a musician is developing your own sound, where someone will say, hey, that's Kiki Wong, or hey, that's Billy Corgan. But more than that, that's Billy Corgan and no one else can be Billy Corgan. Yeah. So I don't know, man. Like when she says, when he says, oh, she can't do this downstroke thing that nobody can do. There is practice session videos of James Hetfield that he's sitting in front of a monitor, just sitting there and just doing downstrokes, da, 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 da. And it wasn't fast either. This is like 2010, 2006 maybe. This is like, James Hetfield is not that old at the time yet, right? And there was a video, so I think it was when the thing came out, shortly after their Death Magnetic album came out. There's a practice video of him is just going doom, 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 really slow. So if he still does it, it kind of tells you what you got to do. Dorotio says, Ibanez S-series models tend to break at the neck body joint, where the neck body meets the neck. So you think with Kiki Wong, was it the most qualified player or was it the most popular guitarist that got the gig? I think it was the fact that she was a good player. She was a great player. She had a matching personality and she had the social media presence. I think out of 10,000 applicants, I'll put it to you this way. Could Guthrie Govan do what she does at Smashing Pumpkins? Well, probably yes. There's nothing in the planet that Guthrie Govan can't do, right? Like, that guy is insane. But the reason they would take Kiki Wong over Guthrie, and I think they would have, like, if you had Guthrie Govan in that lineup, I would still think that they'll take Kiki Wong there, because business-wise, it makes more sense. Now, is Guthrie Govan a better player than Kiki Wong? Yeah. Yeah, he is. Right? But Kiki is younger. Kiki has a social media presence. Kiki has this rock star. She looks beautiful. She's a beautiful looking woman. And obviously she has the necessary skills to be in the band. And so all of that together, I think, was the reason. They knew, I have a feeling that out of the 10,000 people, they already had a short list of who they wanted. Right? Because, and it makes sense, right? Like, it's still a business for them. And they want to maximize the bums on the seats and tickets sold and views. And if you got somebody who, what's Kiki Wong's following on Instagram right now? 200,000? Kiki Wong Instagram. No, 700,000. She has 770,000 followers on Instagram. Now add TikTok to it. Now add YouTube to it. And this is the first, and look at that. This is literally the pinned photo on her Instagram. How can you say no to that? They knew they wanted her. Like, for them, I have a feeling it was for them. It's like, okay, if she has a good attitude and she can play those stuff, we're good. We're not going to look for somebody better because she has 700,000 followers on Instagram. She can sell. Look at her. Now, that's a bad photo of her. That's a horrible photo of her. But she's a good-looking woman, too. So she got the looks. She can play. She has the followage. Yeah. She got the complete package. I think they knew they wanted her. Zuhair says, gotta go, guys. Nice talking until we meet again. Take care, man. Good to see you. Have a good rest. And you've been working really hard, so well deserved. Have a good night, man. I'll catch you later. Take care of yourself. To Doroteo says, to me, Kiki Wong is more metal than alternative rock. Yeah, I agree. She's kind of both to me. Like, she's like a hard rock star. Like, not rock star, but like hard rock star. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the kind of vibe she gives me. But like, the costume she wears, her online personality is very, very influenced by rock and roll still. But yes, she does have metal elements in her personality and whatever not. But yeah, no, it's her thing, her persona has a lot of like rock star in it. Look at that. Like, that's rock star stuff. That's like 80s rock star stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. But she's a great guitar player. It's just that I don't think guitar was the only thing that was like the thing that got her into the gig. I think Smashing Pumpkins already knew that they wanted her. So, yeah. Doroteo says, I've been seeing her on YouTube since 2022, but she is a great player with great stage. 100%. Oh, amazing. She plays Jackson guitars, yeah. I don't know if she's signed by Jackson, actually. I don't know if she's signed by Jackson. But she plays a lot of Jackson guitars. If she's not signed by them, she plays them a lot. Like, I know she plays Stanberg. I know she got a Yamaha, a Rev Star from the factory, like the company. They sent her one. Recently, she shared it on her Instagram. But I've seen her with Jackson's more than anything else, I think. But she played PRS. She played Strandberg. She played Abassi Concepts, Tosin's guitars. She plays all of those. So, yeah. But yeah, she plays a lot of Jackson, more than anything, I think. So yeah. Alrighty. Let's slowly call it a day. I think I'm gonna go and have a quick bite and then a bit of sleep, because I am very, very deprived. But man, what a fun day today was. It was so good to see everybody. The 2 hours we got to talk guitars, and you guys introduced me, Dorotio, not you guys, Dorotio introduced me to a new brand. And I'm going to check the Vola guys out a little more. But yeah, man, oh, it was so much fun. I needed that. You know, I was like exhausted when I did the stream, and you guys helped it out. So thank you, and have a great weekend. And remember, man, we only live once. So play that guitar and kill it. Adam Alvardo from my hometown, Houston, is an awesome player. Check him out. I will. Thanks, man. And with that said, ladies, gentlemen, thank you so much for today. So good to see you. And with that said, take care of yourself. Oh, baby. I'll see you guys in the next video. And I'll see you guys on the next stream. Take care of yourself. And with that said, oh, baby. Take care of yourselves, guys. Love you all. Mwah! I'll see you soon. Bye for now. Woo!